Hi. Happy new moon in Capricorn, the first new moon of 2026. Happy new moon. I hope you got your prayers in, your worship in, whatever you do for new moons. Probably nothing at all, for the most part. I was praying, and I got a lot of good stuff done today. But I'm feeling out of sorts because I haven't climbed up that mountain that I need to climb. And I don't know what to do. I'm kind of lost. Anyway, I believe in myself and I know that I can climb this mountain. I keep letting myself be distracted. Granted, it was a special day that required some special activities. But I need a new strength in me to hunker down. Make a choice, stick with it, and do what I gotta do to make that happen the day I choose it. Words become weak when you make promises to yourself and fail to keep them. And you're like, how can that be? A word is just a word. But you've heard the saying, my word is my bond. You know, people know that if you don't keep your word, you weaken yourself. You weaken your word. And it gets harder and harder and harder to keep it. Especially when there are other people who would rather be in control of you. And see, people are going to control you if you don't control you. And that's what I had to find out the hard way. Finding out, you know, that there are actually family members who would control even their family for selfish purpose. It's amazing. But I tell you, I'm a beautiful woman. I know that I am. And I have been eating foods that are not the best foods for me. And so I can see it, but I know that I'm beautiful. And I know that I need what I need to do for myself. But I knew a guy, pretty good looking guy, and he was weak-minded because he failed to see the truth. He failed to realize, I mean, who in the world would think your family would be out to get you? Who in the world? Nobody would think that. I mean, family is family. You're supposed to be tight. You're supposed to be, on the same team. You're supposed to be. At least you're not supposed to be against each other, competing against each other. You're on the same team, and if you're not, well, you don't need to be on the opposite team. But that's the foolish person, the naive person who thinks that. I knew a guy and his brother spent his life probably playing tricks on him, probably. And I knew a woman whose sister was playing tricks on her. And those two people suffered greatly. The guy graduated in the psychology program at a university, and he had major student loans to pay, but they wouldn't give him a degree because he wrote the wrong things in his papers. And we were talking about a PhD in psychology. He's getting a PhD in his psychology, and he had loans out wazoo. And then they refused at the end of his time, when he had done all the work. They refused. They refused to give him a degree. That's amazing. And it's because he was writing about the educational changes that they were making, and he was putting forth his opinion, which did not agree with the college's stand on childhood education. He got screwed. And he kind of went off the deep end. And then the other woman, her sister was so voracious, she had convinced her mother to leave her all the money. And so when the lady's mother died, her sister got all of the inheritance, and she had no children and no husband. And the woman I knew had 4 daughters and a husband, and they were living in a trailer. And well, she had 4 daughters. But the sad thing was that the family kind of was broken apart because the father was driving late at night with his two youngest daughters in the car with them. It wasn't 4 daughters, it was 3. Yeah, and he had an accident and wound up killing the middle daughter. And his youngest daughter woke up and saw her sister bleeding and passed away. And so they were a wounded family. And it's just sad. How did her sister have anything to do with that? Well, I'm not sure, but I know that she did. And it's called loosh, Loosh, loosh. You make a person suffer, you make them suffer. And then when they're anguished, when they're writhing in their anguish, writhing, the golden substance bleeds out. You bleed out energy, life force energy. when you are writhing in anguish over situations that went against your faith, went against your ability to accept. Yeah. And that's why people call the earth hell. They call this level of existence hell because that's happening. And they want the afterlife to be an ecstatic and wonderful experience to make up for all the hell that you went through in this life, in this level. So they made up this religion, and they made up all this stuff to keep you away from your power, so you could not manifest your dreams. You could not manifest what your best life. And then they made you a sheep for slaughter, and sacrificed you as they needed to. Over and over and over again. And the more they keep you suffering and sacrifice, the easier they have it. It's called game theory. John Nash was a physicist, and he did a mathematical equation that proved game theory was real. And game theory is a simple thing. It's basically when one entity wins, another entity loses. And the symbology is the infinity symbol. And the infinity symbol is actually comes from the 369, 936. And I can explain it to you, but I need a drawing board. The energetic it goes to infinity, and the numbers form this figure 8, and it's an energetic thing that happens. It's like Karate Kid, wax on and wax off, wax on, wax off. It's that energy, wax on, wax off, positive, negative, masculine, feminine, light, dark, wax on, wax off, sun, moon. And it's in everything. And John Nash discovered a mathematical equation, a mathematical way to determine who was going to win, and by that, who was going to lose, or vice versa. You determine who's going to lose, and you know who's going to win. And it's applicable in business, but it is really applicable in life. So when a person causes another person pain, the energy from that pain goes to the person. And then there's a Bible verse, Matthew 19, I think. It's in Matthew. It says, Take from the one who only seems to have and give to the one who truly has. And this is all difficult stuff, but it's biblical, it is scientific, it is an energetic exchange that happens. And there's the issue is not how to avoid it, but how to become a being of cause where you are not reacting to these things. And it's hard not to react to the death of your daughter. It is. But to not to recover from that, to stay broken and shattered to pieces, where everybody's just disassociated from each other. You know, the mother is living in a trailer with her 2 girls and all these animals. The father is constantly traveling because he's a truck driver. And, you know, and he comes home every so often. But they really don't have a family. They barely have a family. The mother and the youngest daughter are together because basically the youngest daughter has to finish high school to get out and leave like her older sister. But you know, it's up to you how you respond. And you don't need to be reactive. Shit happens. You can be causative, okay? Cause a better thing. I know it's painful, but there is greater things come from that when you can analyze the situation and yourself and determine what you're going to do with your life rather than let things happen to you. See, if you're not back to the control, who's controlling your life? You know, because you've got to be in control of your life. You've got to be determining what your life is doing. You have to take the steps to make things go the way you want them to go. You have to take the action. You have to have the idea. You have to write it down. It's the best thing to do. You have to hold to that idea. Read your journals to renew those thoughts and take the actions you need to take. And I'm talking to you. I'm talking to myself. But that's how you keep people from controlling your life and deciding what your destiny is. Because if they know the secrets, they can cause you to bleed. And if they are totally psychopathic, without conscience, they don't care how much you hurt. The people can be I mean, it's obvious. You see it every day. But you got to get into a community. You've got to get the best and the right and the good energy around you. Now, I made a mistake and I am sort of stranded right now. I should not have come back down to Alabama, and I shouldn't be staying here. It's not my goal. It's not my goal to be here. And I don't live here, and I refuse to do anything. But what I'm trying to do is build a life, build a presence online, build my life energy, and get out of this situation I'm in. And I've got a whole list of things to do. And I have to take the steps to do it now. And that is where I am. But I have been empowered to, at a greater extent, to have more effect on myself than anybody else. And I am positively putting my energy into myself, positively feeding myself, positively doing positive things for myself. But I still have to take that action. And it's, it's not a big action. And I did pay for help. I did pay for training and assistance. And I haven't lost that. And it's not too late, and I'm not going to sink. It's time to swim. I had to get through the holidays. And I'm thankful that I got to go through the holidays. I can't stand the holidays, to be quite honest. But even though it used to be my favorite time of year, they just get in my way. I've got to get things done. I guess when I get things done, I'll be able to have more time to enjoy. But when you have to take your first steps, and you're still toddling around like a toddler, trying to take your first steps, it's time to do it. It's time to do it. All right. It's 22 minutes. I went way too long. I didn't think I'd go this long. Thank you for listening. I hope you're getting something out of this. I'm trying to add to humanity. I'm trying not to be negative. I want to be hopeful, help myself and help you too. And I really do want to be a benefit to humanity with all of these talks. But I think what I need to do is get my paints out and start painting and talking. You guys might be more interested in what I have to say if I have something to look at other than just me. Thanks for listening.